Why, hello, Ange.
Well, howdy do. How are you? That's what we would say in Jamaica when anyone
What?
passed by. Howdy do.
Ah,
Howdy do.
my
Miss
grandmother used to
Bonds.
say that.
Howdy do.
My grandmother used to say that. Howdy do. Howdy do. I do fine. No, huh?
Oh boy. Okay.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. We're in the building.
We're in the building.
We're gonna chat it up today because
We're in two different buildings, actually.
well, yeah, we're in two different buildings. We're in our buildings, and you see, we have there's so much beautiful sunlight coming into my living room. I love it.
And let me tell you,
I actually thought that my
space
blinds,
is just beautiful. I'm
I
just
thought
looking
my
at your
blinds were
background.
closed.
It's such a nice picture you have behind you. A screen
Awesome.
you have behind you.
Can you imagine living in that screen?
In that screen, yes, it does. It's a really nice background.
I actually went to close the blinds and realized that they were already closed. That's just how the sun is coming through, and so
Filled with
I
light.
guess it was
The
meant to
light
be.
surrounds you. That's a
Like
nice
a
look.
halo.
A nice different look. I don't see you looking like that
you.
very often.
Thank you.
You look like you're serious.
New look, new wig, new
hair,
tints.
new glasses.
The glasses are not new.
Well, yeah, they look different. I guess with the rest of the look. It's
Yeah,
a good
it's
serious
just-
work look. Like she got work to do.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I look like a librarian. Is that what it is?
Serious.
Serious?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, not serious. Just very pensive. Y'all know I moved into my new place in a bit of a city-ish area.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been telling Leslie that the whole thing was so unsettling for me.
How so?
And it's just
All
been
right,
unsettling.
tell me what you're saying, and then I'll remember, because it didn't seem unsettling to me.
What I mean is that change is usually not really hard for me,
Right.
to accept and to go through.
It's hard for me, but not you.
Right. And that's kind of, it depends on the change, but yeah. And this change, but I realized it wasn't just one change. This change in moving was really, really unsettling. But then I realized that it wasn't the only thing changing. It was me living 100% by myself. It was me living back in an urban environment that I hadn't lived in 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was me kind of making a decision about my next steps. And this was just one hop in that progression, but I did see it as a major step towards the way that I envisioned my life going forward. And I made sure that I just allowed myself to sit in this instead of kind of rushing through the discomfort and challenging it. And why am I feeling this way? I realized that when I allowed myself to feel the feels and recognize that it was a lot of change and move through it instead of resisting it, I reached where I am now, which is, I would say I'm moving into enjoyment. And so
is that joy again?
It's that joy thing. I knew that the move would create joy. And I also know that joy isn't always kind of right now easy, right? It's not happy.
Mm-hmm.
It's joy. So it's deeper, and sometimes it takes a lot of effort to get there. But even on the journey, when you know that you're moving towards something that you really desire, I count that as joy also, because
Yeah.
otherwise you'd be just stuck in wherever you were stuck before you sought out
Mhm.
joy. So anyway, so I was thinking about the future, because I do see this as a moving towards that.
Mhm.
And I thought that would be a great topic for us to talk about, because that's where my head is right now,
Yeah, I
is in
think
what's
mine
next.
is there too. I didn't realize, but another change that you made in addition to the move and the change in venue, but you also downsized even more than you have been over the last 2 years.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a
I did.
big thing for you, from moving from the very large 5-bedroom home to
Yeah.
a smaller place, and now even smaller.
Yes.
So you're like giving more away and living with a bit less and
Yeah.
acquiring smaller scale things.
Yeah. Not investing a lot of money into things.
Right.
I actually liquidated most of what I had in the 5-bedroom house.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an opportunity to see them and thank them and just, again, it's the moving through, right? But because I know that I want to move towards being more agile in my life, and not being burdened by things, having a place for the things to exist, whether you live with them or have them in storage. You know, they're still there. You're paying for them beyond buying them. You're paying, you're paying for them if you're not kind of living with them. So yeah, those were some conscious decisions. Yeah.
I'm leaning in a little bit more as you're speaking about that, because I liked how you said, I want to be more agile.
Yeah.
And to me, that goes a little bit in tandem with what our friend Stephanie Perry has terms a life of ease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think I've been thinking about that in a lot of her teaching often. And I think about the agility of being able to move around, unburdened by stuff and things that we thought over the decades that were important or that we needed. But as we're getting older, we realize that they're not the important things in our lives.
Right.
You know, like so many of us have the abundance of 5 televisions. And like I have 2 televisions in my basement. One on one wall, my workout area, and then the other one in the lounge area. Come on, Les. And I'm not a TV watcher. You know, and then that's just the basement. Then there's televisions upstairs. The abundance of materialism is really starting to bug me. And I've been looking around lately in a with a mindset of trying to be perhaps more mobile later, or, you know, moving to a smaller scale home or something like that. And I'm like looking around like, where is it all going to go? How are we going to unload all of this stuff? You know, a room turned into a closet. Yeah. That still doesn't hold all of our things. Like, you know, it's starting to feel a little frivolous.
Right. I, you know, there's still certain things that I don't know if I could let go of, but a big thing that I let go of were, I had kept stuff from my children, all 3 of them. My 2 eldest went to a magnet school that was focused on Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And they would have what they call victory folders. And it wasn't the teacher deciding what to put in their victory folder. The children chose what they were particularly proud of that they put in the folder. And so
I hope you didn't get rid of the victory folders.
I did.
How big were they?
Well, each, and the youngest didn't, only went to that school for a year, but do I have to discuss? All I have to say,
I can't believe you got rid of the victory folders.
I looked through them. I relived the experience. I got the dopamine hit again from them. And then I said goodbye.
And thank you and goodbye.
Because
did you offer to give it to them? They might hold.
Listen, no. They have enough things that I know they want. They want all of the VCR tapes. They want all of their games, and it's for good reason, because a lot of these older movies are not available online the way that they used to be, and that's going to continue to diminish.
Right.
And so my first one was like really on point, and so I even have a VCR player, I have a record player, I have some records. I have enough of the things that I'm aware that they want. It
sounds to me like I'm never going to get rid of my stuff. I'm going to be buried with my shit.
This is a thing, but
how do you do it?
Maybe this is what you want.
No, you know what it is? You know what it is? I'm going to need a surrogate. And that's what, even, does Marie Kondo say that? Where you really need to get someone else who is a little bit more objective with different eyes.
I see. Right.
You know, like they do on Help, I'm a Hoarder.
Right.
They get the professional to come in and go through your stuff and like, do you need this?
Yes.
Do you need this? When is your last wear? It's torn. It doesn't fit you know.
Right.
And
Right.
See, one thing that has made it easy for me to get rid of a lot of clothing and things is my weight loss. They don't fit me anymore. So I can't justify too much keeping them. So that has been helpful.
Right. I have to admit something.
What did you keep?
Okay. So I have 2 pieces of clothing that I had before I left Jamaica. One of them was before I left Jamaica. And it's in one of the pictures that you know the one.
Okay, the dress.
Okay, the dress with the green background with the white flowers, and I'm showing my Mickey Mouse watch, my new Mickey Mouse watch that my mom got for me.
You positioned your wrist.
And I was turning it around so everyone could see it. That was in Highgate in Jamaica. So I have that dress, and I also have.
Is it tattered?
A little bit, not a lot, but like the collar is torn. But I'm not interested in fixing it, actually.
Because you're not wearing it.
But I just thought of something. But anyway, and the other thing I have is the coat that my mother and my eldest brother met us at the airport because it was the dead of winter when we arrived in America. And she had sent down some warmer clothing for us, but the coat that she met us at the airport with, I still have that coat.
Was that green?
It wasn't. It's a gray coat, red inside. It has some fake fur around the collar, gold buttons.
You got to take a picture of it and we got to post it.
I know. And that, yeah. If you're on Patreon, you'll see it. I'll take some pictures. But maybe I'll use some of it in something. I don't know, like on a pillow or an art installation or something. Maybe I'll create a shadow box.
You could do, I was going to say a shadow box is interesting because you know how you have the shadow box for Brooklyn Tech? Your thing?
Yes. You
didn't give that away, did you?
Yeah, something like that.
Did you give that away?
No.
Oh. I don't know.
No.
You gave your children's things away. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Brooklyn Tech means nothing to you. The place where we met and forged this 50, half the century, friendship. I don't know.
No, I didn't throw that away. But
wow, what do I have like that?
Yeah. I know you have stuff, but what are you willing to let go? What do you feel like you could never let go?
I keep things. I'll tell you one thing that I have for sure. I have my Tech Senior T-shirt.
Me too. Thank God I found it.
I have it. That's
Thank God I found it.
Almost 45 years old.
1980.
Actually, I gotta make
with
sure
all the names on the back. Yeah.
I gotta think of. I'm sure I have things from earlier than that because I.
Okay, question though.
Yeah.
Can you still fit that T-shirt?
I bet you I can.
I can too. It's very tight on me.
It's very tight.
It's very tight, but
actually, it may not even be so tight.
It's not. It wouldn't be tight on you because you're so
I'm kind of
slim,
small up top,
especially up top.
But so Ange,
yeah.
Patreon pictures. Let's take pictures in it. In our tech shirts.
Okay. Bet.
Because Linda always, some of us wear them. Some of us wear those shirts.
So the other thing that I've done is I have purposefully just eaten what I want to eat.
Tell me about that. That is.
Yeah. So I'm kind of just exploring that to see in my regular state where I'm not super conscious of, and I'm not a poor eater, sweets and things like that anyway, but I had been really reducing my carbs. And so I just decided, well, what would my diet look like if just based on everything I know, I just did that versus no, you can't do that. You can't do that.
If you did what? If you ate whatever it is that you wanted, is that what you're saying?
Right. Right. And again, it wasn't. It was more of a if I were free from all that stuff, what would my equilibrium be? You know what I mean?
That's an interesting thing. That's an interesting endeavor.
Yeah. And it's just to kind of see. It's. Yeah.
Because physiologically, I've heard, I don't know how true it is, but I've heard that, one, I do know that we all have a metabolic set point and a weight set point. And when we try to deviate from it, that's where the difficulty comes in. Either trying to gain weight, like Omari could never gain weight. Ern can't gain weight. But when, people try to lose weight, they have a set point that it's so difficult to get out of that. So not just that, but I've also heard that people crave, or when they eat freely, they eat in a nutritionally sound way, in a balanced way.
Yeah.
That you'll get enough protein, you'll get enough of your veggies and whatever if you listen to your body and eat what your body is asking for. I've never been able to do that. I eat like a toddler sometimes.
No, but I think that's interesting. I never knew that because I do, I have my peanuts when I feel like I need protein and I don't want to prepare something or I don't have any rotisserie chicken or anything like that. So you eat
peanuts intentionally for protein or just because you enjoy it and it's a snack?
Both. Like when I don't feel like preparing breakfast.
Out of a martini glass.
Say that again?
I'm drinking water out of a martini glass.
Oh. Yeah. So if I don't feel like preparing anything for breakfast, I'll have like a serving of peanuts with my coffee. And I know that's some protein. Meal. So I do that. But anyway, and another part of that, because this is all about moving towards ease, towards feeling free, and what
fewer
that
restraints
could feel like,
and constraints.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm also, I have I'm feeling a little more girth around my middle. That's where it shows up on me mostly. And I'm just like, hey, I see you. I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I'm not like, oh my God, I gotta.
That's a little new for you, though.
Huh?
That's a little new for you because you distress
know.
about things like that.
I know, but this is where I am now.
Since
I'm
when? This week? Like,
you know what?
This is where you are. Saying, when?
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
I feel. Okay. Yeah. No, I'm just kind of exploring this, and it feels really good. It feels really good. And I know you have been influenced by Stephanie and have been thinking about what living abroad could be like, which to me
For
is
sure.
Because the first time you traveled outside of the United States was when you came with me to Jamaica one year.
Was that the first time?
That was the first time. I don't even
remember. Wow.
That was the first time.
Wow.
That was the first time. So it was whatever. When we were
decades ago.
I'm going to say 15, 16.
Were we
so
that young?
I never thought that. Was that?
Were we that young?
No, maybe not.
I don't know. Maybe 20.
No,
I don't remember.
Older.
I have no idea.
We were older.
I don't think it was high school.
It was before I was married, though. So maybe late teens, early 20s, maybe something like that. But
I am seriously thinking.
I know,
and planning a trip that will come up at some point that we'll talk about on the show. But I'm planning my trip abroad to go looking at places to live and. Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you?
And you know how much I love my work, but I can actually envision a different work circumstance for me as well.
Wow.
You know, maybe part-time or maybe a few days a week or
a
couple months at a time or something like that. But at least I'm thinking about it and I can really see something like that in my future.
Right. Yeah,
I can't wait to go on my recon trip.
I know. I can't wait to hear the news. You better take a lot of videos. I want to I want to see the full spectrum of places, and I'll be pee cluck cluck behind you the next trip.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm not going with you is because my youngest is graduating in May, graduating from undergrad and moving to the other side
of the country.
The country on the West Coast. And so just going there with him and getting him set up and looking at apartments and all that stuff is happening in May. So that's going to be a really busy month and fun.
Yeah.
But really
that's
busy,
exciting. So. How do you feel about that? That means
I feel wonderful.
All of your children will be out of the state that you live in.
I feel wonderful. My mother raised me with a sense of, we talked about this, I think, the last time, the thinking that the more that you keep children close, the less independent they are. In my home base, we were very close, but my mother really encouraged us to go away to college. She didn't kick us out to go, but she really encouraged us to go away and kind of see what the world was like. My sister traveled a lot, and I am quite proud that my children are feel confident enough to do it. Even again, when I talk about confidence, it doesn't mean or fear. Fear is there, but that they are pushing through it and going to do this. And so this is something really interesting too. So I think I've been using. So Isaiah asked me about about, his expenses and what he should kind of plan for and what percentage should go to rent and things like that. So yeah. So
that's exciting.
It is exciting, and so he said that he really wants a nice car, but he's not sure whether, And I was like, Isaiah, you're young. Like, go. You don't always put some money away just for savings, period. You're going to max out 401k, all of that stuff, right? And you're going to put a little extra above that. But outside of that, have some fun. Have some fun. You're going to be probably working for a long time, in some ways, And so I encourage him to get a nice car. You may decide in a year that, nope, I don't want that car. No, I'd rather put it into a nicer apartment. And then you'll switch back for a year.
I love that you're encouraging him to establish a level of freedom even early. The important things to take care of, but so often, and I'm like this, I gotta say, I counsel my children and say, like, just be careful, especially early. If you start now and this and that, I really have a more closed hand or cautious approach than, I don't know. Yeah. I grew up in my family and my siblings, we were not necessarily encouraged to go abroad or go away to school and things like that. So I was the rebel, and I was the only one that went away to school when I went to Brandeis. Right. And to encourage my child to leave the home and go abroad, go to school away and things like that. But it's not the tradition in my personal family, Yeah. So I like that you say, see what works for you. Because what we've learned in the years that we've been an adult, that you can always pivot and change, that things are not static. Yeah. If it doesn't work out, you come back. If you don't care for the car, if it's too expensive, you get rid of it and do something different. Yeah. So it's instilling flexibility early. I think it's really important.
Yeah. And I think the older ones will say, man, Isaiah's such a different life than we had. I think I've always kind of been this way. But definitely. And I blame them too. I said, because you have taught me that it's okay to lean into this because, you're grounded. You're really grounded. So, we both are. So, but as I was saying, and I'm like, oh Lord, because then he started sending me the cars that he likes.
What is he thinking of? It's like
Camaros.
Like his mama.
I know. Cars. We test drove one together before I got my car you love. And by the way, did I tell you it was humming after I got it serviced?
You did.
She's humming.
And I don't love it. I like it. A red Charger, not Challenger, Charger. It's still a little out of my comfort zone.
I had to get the Charger because I wanted a 4-door, even because my children, I'm like, but they need to have a comfort in the back seat. But that's what he's looking at. And so we're bringing my brother into it, the younger of my two brothers who's really into cars to help make the decision. But that's kind of, it's a part of this next phase of life. I can almost like tie a bow on the part of my life where parenting was my focus.
Yeah.
And this is totally transitioning to where, so.
Yeah, it's like these discrete time periods.
Yeah.
And I like that, that each generation, we're talking about another generation right now, but they have their own transitions and changes also, you know?
Right.
So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I just lost my train of thought, and it's not going to come back. It'll come back when I'm in the shower tonight.
All right, we'll get back on film. We'll get back on camera.
Oh yeah, what I was going to say is,
right.
No, but this is feeling better and better. This is feeling better and better and better.
What is this that you're referring to?
The change. The change. Like I said, it was really unsettling. So it's becoming
more.
It's
settled.
starting to feel right. It's starting to feel right. Yep.
And so, I have no doubt that when it starts to feel unright and you start thinking about other things, that you don't have any fear about moving on to the next thing, you know, exploring something different.
I will have the fears, but more than likely I will do it through the fear.
You break through
I'll
those
definitely
things.
Have the fear. This was, there was some fear, a lot of fear around this. I remembered what I was going to ask you about. I hope you're willing to talk about it.
What?
The thing you referred to as your dentures. And the reason why it came to mind is because when I was thinking about us as teenagers, and at some point you'd ask me about whether you should have braces, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I don't want you to change.
Outed me. Every time I've ever asked you, should I get braces, you said no. You said no.
I know, but I think it was honestly, it was selfishness. I didn't want you to change. I really do, honestly.
That is selfish. And I'll tell you this. Okay, so now that
you don't have to say it. Why'd you say it like that?
So now that you've outed me.
So yes.
I've always loved the gap in my teeth. However, the more I see myself on camera, the first thing that I ever think of is, I don't like my teeth. Why didn't I get braces? Why didn't I get braces? So here I am doing my public a favor. And I got Invisalign braces. So yay! I don't know if you guys can notice that I'm slurring my speech a little bit, and I'm drinking water a lot because it dries my mouth out, especially when I speak a lot. But I have aligners on, top and bottom.
I love it.
And first of all, you know I'm a little ditzy.
You're
all right,
what?
I won't say that. A little ditzy. All right, don't make me say
clumsy,
it with a slur.
Clumsy.
I'm a little clumsy too, but I'm a little forgetful, actually.
Okay. Okay.
I've already lost them quite a few times. Because here's the thing.
It hasn't been that long though.
This is only week 3. Wow, I've lost them a few times. Well, not lost, but couldn't find them a few times. Panicked. But anyway, you can't eat in them because you don't want any food particles to get under them and stay in your teeth. And you can only drink water with them. So I've already lost about 4 pounds with these in, because taking them in and out, I'm not snacking and stuff because I'd have to take them out to snack, take a pretzel and then and then the other thing is at work last week. I told the cleaning staff, here I am at a surgical center with patients. Don't throw anything away. I had somebody go to the dumpster and bring the bin back in because my teeth were not in my pocket. I call them my teeth. They were not in my pocket
of my
scrubs. When I thought, I'm like, I'm like, oh my God, when did I last see it? Okay, I took it out to eat lunch, and I'm going through all the garbages with my gloves on, looking for these things. And
I can't imagine. What like was
they were in with my lunch, because if I don't have the case, and right now I don't even know where the case is.
Okay.
It's a shame. There's something wrong with me. Help me.
I
But
don't think so.
I take it and I put it in a napkin and stick it in my pocket. And it's like, why am I carrying around a napkin and toss it? Now I knew why I was carrying around a napkin. But anyway, in I think maybe 10 months, I'm going to have nice straight teeth.
Wow.
I'm going to have that Colgate smile.
You know, this is really kind of weird, but so braces to me, I can't remember ever seeing braces when I was growing up in Jamaica. So braces to me are a very American thing, right? And older people with braces, I've always seen as kind of like
cool.
Yeah, kind of like an admission that they, you know, they're not like, they don't feel like they're over the hill. Like there's still
life left. There's still some beauty left.
Yeah, right. There's still some youthfulness. I've always kind of seen older people with braces that way. So
you didn't mention that to me. All right.
I know I'm a little strange, but that's okay. I'm okay with that.
I like it. Well, I think that's a good way to end. Leslie's gonna beautify herself, and you know, and what could out? Is there anything for the crow's feet that I can
No, we're not doing that. Did we agree that we're not doing that?
You remember my Botox experience? I hated it.
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God,
the lady at the place that I work at.
I'd forgotten about that.
She came into us and all of like the staff and whatever. She's like, I have free Botox for today is Botox day. I have free samples. Anybody want Botox? And it's like, you know, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I hated it, man. It's like, I really didn't like the way I looked.
I think I remember it now. Like
I didn't like it at all. And remember, I couldn't,
was overdone. Like it was doing too much.
I couldn't raise my eyebrows. It was, And then it's
I remember eventually.
So this stuff was all static, but then my eyelids felt like they were drooping. It's like I don't think I need Botox, thank God.
I couldn't do that.
I'm not a fan of that.
See, I can try things. Certain things I would just be too afraid to try it, like that. Like skydiving.
But you don't like needles.
Things like that.
You know, Botox involves needles.
Excuse me,
remember
wait a minute.
injecting your feet with needles. You didn't like that.
Hold on. Leslie.
You didn't tolerate that injection at all.
Let's just be clear. I don't have a problem with needles.
And I think you screamed so much, didn't one of your children start crying? Or you started crying.
They did.
Like I was hurting you. I was hurting you, right?
I don't even remember what happened.
I don't even know why I was injecting your feet.
You were trying to, I think you were trying to get a splinter, something, and you got that needle, and I don't know.
And I said, let me numb it. I can inject it with numbing medicine.
Right, so you could get it out.
Yeah.
Why?
You had a foreign body in your foot.
No. Why did I allow you to do that to me?
I don't know.
I gladly. Okay, Les. Sure. I think it was worse than childbirth.
Thought that I was competent.
I think it was worse than childbirth. Yes.
Let me just ask you, did we ever get the splinter out?
I don't even remember because the pain was so great.
And you almost passed out.
That the splinter. Oh my gosh, I could tear up right now thinking about how painful it was.
I remember. I think we got it out though.
Anyway.
We got it out. This is what we do.
We got a lot more years to go, babes.
Foreign bodies from each other. And help each other beautify their new homes. All right, pal. This was a cool episode. This has been another episode of Black
We've got
Boomer
some good
Besties
guests
from
coming
Brooklyn.
up, guys.
We do have good guests, but here on a serious note, I do want to say and let us all say a prayer for our a close friend of ours lost his dad recently. And our hearts go out to him and his family. May they find peace in their grief and this difficult time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do want to say that. And I also want to say that Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn is produced by Angella Fraser, that lady right over there. Our editing team is from Matt Dershowitz, and our great marketing folks come from Couture Copywriting. So we have a nice little circle egging us on. So I like that.
A small and mighty team.
We do. So stay tuned for upcoming things from Black Boomer Besties from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.